Welcome back to The Gory Gaze, the horror podcast where two horror-loving boyfriends slash up and bleed out your favorite
and not so favorite
black sheep underdogs of the horror family.
Oh my gosh.
Added a little sauce to it.
That was so saucy. Yay, I'm Stanley.
And I'm Alex.
Oh gosh.
Oh gosh, we sounded like Patsy and who would Patsy sit with? Donna?
Who the fuck's Patsy?
I don't know. We were like, and I'm Alex. I'm Stanley. And I'm Alex.
Oh, how fun.
I'm Donna. And
I love these names. These are exactly who I would sit with if I was in middle school in the 1950s.
Oh, no. You want to be in Laughlin, Nevada, sitting Riverview with cigarettes in your mouth.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Is the dog growling or is that traffic?
That is traffic. We are sitting right next to the window, which we have the air conditioner unit right in the window. So, of course, the noise is going to come in because the window is open.
Well, it's not on, though.
No, the window is open, remember?
Oh, yeah, whatever. Okay. All right, guys, welcome back. We are on episode 38. Alex in Spanish.
38.
Yes. And
which means Dante's Peak in Spanish.
Oh.
I'm teasing.
That's what we're covering.
Yes.
I was going to say what movie we're covering, and now I don't have to.
What?
Which, you know what? We were having not like a quibble, but we were having a conversation about if this is a horror movie or not.
Yeah.
We've decided it is.
Absolutely.
Right? Because Twister is, it's horror adjacent. And we talked about this in the last episode. And we talked mad shit on Twisters because it's just not a good movie. And we had decided that, you know, since we did not cover Twister in our first episode and went with Single White Female, that we are going to, I almost said discover, that we are going to slash up and bleed out this one instead. Another disaster movie that I feel like scared me when I was young gay Stanny. Mm-hmm. I don't know. When was the first time you saw this movie?
Well, how old were you?
I saw it in theaters. I was almost 11. I was 10.
Okay, so I'm 5 years older. I was 15. What movie came? There was another disaster movie that came out when this movie came out.
Volcano.
Really? No, but that was like the comparable movie to this. But I think it was like just like these year of disaster movies that were coming out. Dante's Peak being one.
Well, yeah. I mean, Twister came out, and then they had to start making a disaster movie. Oh, you're probably thinking of like Deep Impact.
Yes. I think Deep Impact had just came out. Is that the one with Tia Leone?
Yeah,
and she like hugs her dad.
The tsunami or something.
Yeah. That one. So that, and I think
dad.
Like Con Air was like in 2000 something, right?
Con Air?
Not Con Air, sorry. Armageddon.
No, that was 98.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, like there was like just this moment in time when they started making all these like disaster movie, like natural disaster movies. And I remember I used to go to Universal Studios over and over and over as a teen, and they had that set of Dante's Peak as part of the tour for the tram. You know, like you would go in through this little tunnel and it was like the inside of the volcano, and that shit would make you so dizzy. It was like the most horrifying, the worst part of the tram. And it's no longer existent, but that's why I remember this movie so well. And the part that you go into is like, you know, the tram ride takes you into Dante's Peak, where you see the actual sign that says Dante's Peak. And then you go in through the little forest area into the volcano, which it just spins and spins, makes you sick, and you get out of it. But I remember that specific part of the tram, and this is why I remember this movie so well.
Yes.
So to answer your question, that was probably the first time I seen Dante's Peak, and then I went to watch the movie, having to see it first at Universal Studios as a set, and then watch the movie after.
So wait, did you see it in theaters?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay. I see. No. I love that you got to experience that at Universal Studios, though.
It was the coolest thing. So like for Dante's Peak to be such a big thing to you because you're so passionate about it.
Oh my gosh.
Literally, I am so excited to have shared with you like the fact that they used to have that at Universal Studios, and it's so cool.
I don't know why this movie appeals to me so much. Oh, well, no, I know exactly why. Never mind. Like, I'm like, why on earth?
Yeah.
No, I had this really huge like passion for volcanoes when I was a kid. Like, and I think it's because I was raised in the Pacific Northwest and I could just see Mount Hood all the time from like every eye view, you know, like just walking down the street, just every car ride. I'm from Portland. That's just for all the listeners. And the Mount St. Helens thing, we were taught very, very early in grade school, and so we got to see all that footage and all the destruction and all the pictures and all that stuff very early, and it's just fascinating. All that stuff is very fascinating, and to this day I still find myself just going down that YouTube hole like once in a while of all those old documentaries. And I think Dante's Peak is the most realistic portrayal of a volcanic eruption, because it's so strikingly similar to the Mount St. Helens eruption.
Yeah, they did a good time at capturing the time lapse, if that's what you mean, of events, you know, that happened during that time of the explosion at Mount St. Helens. To create this movie, they did their homework.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think that it just is, maybe it was because I saw it at such a young age too. We tend to cover movies that fell into a really nostalgic time during my childhood. Like, we both saw them at really young ages, if you happen to have seen the movie that we're covering. And this was just one of them, you know. So I was 10, almost 11, and there's a lot of thematic elements. There's a lot of like family elements with like the single mom like raising two kids, and like a similar place of being raised in like a really green area. And it's
She's
just
also
like,
the mayor, and she also has the keys to every single thing.
Yeah. I keep going, yeah. Like, I'm really excited about it. And
you are, mind you, now as adults, we live right below Dante's Peak.
We do.
Yeah, up Griffith Park. If you take, there's a certain little trail that you can take all the way to the top, and there's a spot that's named Dante's Peak, which is like the coolest thing, and it's so beautiful there. It's so green and lush. It looks like Hawaii. I've never been to Hawaii, but it looks so green and lush and tropical.
Oh, Dante's View.
Dante's View.
Is that what it is? Yeah. I was like, wait, what?
Like Dante's Peak.
No, it's a really gorgeous hike. Yeah, we were thinking about going there today, but we haven't like really hiked in a minute because of the heat. The heat has been so fucking bad. Like, for us. I don't know. Like,
it's really bad.
We're babies lately.
We went up there this morning, and it was already so hot. It was only 9:00 in the morning.
No. And then I have to go to work, and it's like 150 degrees over there. No thanks. Not if we don't have to.
We are living in Dante's Peak.
But out of the disaster movies that came out around this time, I think that Dante's Peak is the one that I go to more often than not. Like, I probably watched this one more than I watched Twister, and I watched Twister quite a lot. It's like a comfort movie.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, I'm just gonna say this was my pick. So obviously I like this movie, and there's a plethora of reasons why I like this movie, which we will get into. I'm gonna ask you, did you like this movie? I mean, you do like this movie.
I do like this movie because of nostalgia. There's like no other. I don't know. I think of this movie, and it's like very like ashy. The truck specifically just sticks to my brain. Like, it just sticks in the back of my brain. You know, the big red truck that Suburban that he drives around. It looks like just sets to me, like, you know, the movie is a movie. It tells a really good story. The writing sucks, but it tells a super cool story.
Dialogue.
It tells a super cool story, and the you know, like the set designs and everything that they used to create this movie kind of sticks to the back of my head, and it's kind of one of those movies that I want to watch over and over, depending on the place that I'm in. Line it up with Twister and line it up with those other movies that make me feel like take me back to my childhood or my teenage years. Then this is a good movie for that nostalgia's sake. Yes.
Yeah, I'm glad. It's because it wasn't well received. Like, it like mixed to negative reviews, but oddly enough, it's pretty scientifically accurate.
Yeah.
Like, I found myself while we were doing notes, or while I was doing notes, because we did notes separately for this one, I was Googling things because they were throwing a lot of things at us, you know. And while we were watching Twisters, like, I was like, dude, bullshit. They're just, you know what I mean? It's just like hooga haga. What, hoobalooba? What is it?
Hoobalooba.
Like, there's just no sense of even like trying to understand what the fuck they're saying, because they're just trying to distract you because it was written by AI. Thank you, Nathaniel. Yeah. But this movie, It's kind of smart. There are certain areas where it's smart, and I think it's because they actually hired actual scientists, actual volcanologists, actual people who knew what they were doing to assist in those departments.
And I feel like that's why, Pierce Brosnan, he's a big star, of course. His opposite, oh my gosh, what's her name?
Linda Hamilton, baby.
Yes. She's also being a big star, but I just feel like they didn't have to spend so much money on graphics, on computer generated shit, on bigger stars even, because I think their biggest star in this movie was the volcano. And that's why everything in this movie just feels like a set to me. Like I told you, this feels like when you read a book. I don't read books, but this is how I imagine people that read books create these sets in their head, like of every moment that's happening in every page. Because it is a Universal movie, it does to me feel like, and I mean by Universal, Studios.
Yeah.
It just feels like you're inside of the earthquake ride, like in every single scene. Everything just feels like a queue line for a ride or an actual ride at Universal Studios.
There's more than one part where you're stuck in a truck.
Uh-huh.
And I thought that was kind of funny. Rewatching it this time around for the podcast. You mean where the
tires are spinning in the lava?
Yeah, just in general. Like, these guys get stuck in a truck I think like 3 times, maybe 4 times. So piggybacking off of the ride comment. It's a fun, bumpy, like entertaining way to spend nearly 2 hours, and it flies by. Yeah. Like I've read reviews where it's like, man, it really takes an hour to get to the volcano erupting. Spoiler. But I mean, like, you actually do get some character development. Like, as cringy as the dialogue is in places, like, you have like actual characters. I mean, the 2 leads work really well together. I mean, I do have this weird kind of feeling that Linda Hamilton was struggling behind the scenes. Then and I've always kind of felt that, but then upon doing some research, we find out that Linda Hamilton is bipolar, and she was going through a separation with James Cameron at the time. And then we find out that when they got divorced, she got $50 million.
The girl is set
in her settlement.
That's why I told you she ain't worried about this movie and what comes after it. Like, I mean, she is set. This was a project for her.
But that doesn't. I've always thought that she did a really good job. I never thought that this was a bad performance on her end. I never thought that Pierce Brosnan was bad necessarily.
He didn't sing.
Wait, what?
Well, he didn't sing in this movie.
No, he did not. But I used to like kind of make fun of Linda Hamilton in prior viewings, saying that, she kind of looked a little drunk and weary. But now, as an adult, like, I look at it as like, oh, she's a single mom. She's running a town. She has 2 like rambunctious kids that don't really get along and can't really act that well.
Yeah.
And and she's putting up with like a pain in the ass mother-in-law who she doesn't get along with very well, and she's running a coffee shop. Like, this bitch is doing a lot of work.
Yeah, she is.
So now, from like a real life perspective and from an actor's perspective, I suppose, like, I think that it's a really good performance, disregarding some of the shitty fucking dialogue.
Yeah, I didn't think they actually cared about dialogue, story, or anything else, but just making a big volcano like explode.
Yeah, and for movies like this, I think that's what we're coming for. For Twister, I think that it had one of the dumbest fucking plots in the world. I will always tell you about that story about my great aunt and how she was so mad about the conclusion.
Like, what's in the middle of a tornado?
We know what's in the middle of a Twister. Eddie,
nothing.
Get my cigarettes. Then this movie as well. Like, we're here to watch the big show at the end. And I think that this movie, what was being held against it was it came out right after Twister and right before Volcano. It was being sandwiched in between big movies. And you have Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton in Twister, and you have Tommy Lee Jones. And who did Twister? I'm sorry, Volcano. Was it?
Oh my gosh, we just saw that guy
20th Century Fox? It was 20th Century Fox. So you have Universal and 20th Century Fox competing with like the same movie, pretty much. And I don't think that they had like a bunch of good things on their side as far as stuff like that goes.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was exactly going with that.
Well, you lost us all.
I know. Sorry, guys.
Fuck you, Amber. I'm not the fucking killer. I know.
How you doing? What you been up to?
We had a really wonderful beet salad for
Yeah, we
lunch.
did.
It was fucking epic. It had
We
chicken.
absolutely did.
It had bacon on the side.
It had walnuts, goat cheese, bacon on the side. Balsamic vinaigrette. What did I add? There was so much in it.
It was so fucking good.
It's delicious.
It was so fucking good. All right, Alex, what have we... Oh, that was fucked up. What have we...
Oh my gosh. Are you okay? Bring it back.
What have we been watching lately?
We've been watching... Well, I went on this little... Okay, let me start over. TikTok told me to watch the movie Killing Ground. And I was like, okay, what is this about? So I went into the comments to do some research about what the movie was about, you know. And from the comments, people started saying, no, not this movie, Eden Lake. You need to watch Eden Lake. That movie, I still haven't recovered. I haven't recovered from Eden Lake. Watch Eden Lake. Oh my gosh, what happens to those people? It's so sad. They just want to go on a trip, blah, blah, blah. So the rant went on and I'm like, okay, what's with this Eden Lake movie? 2008's 6.7 out of 10 on IMDb, 81% on Rotten Tomatoes. This movie, Eden Lake, fucked me up. Like, it was just so much. Like, I went through so much with this movie. Stanley was at work, and I just kept on messaging these fucking kids. Oh my gosh, they just wanted to go on a nice trip. I can't believe what's happening to these people. What the fuck? The dog. Like, oh my God. Over and over, like, this movie just fucking traumatized the shit out of me. I couldn't, like, after that, I couldn't function well. It was so bad. I told you to watch it. You did.
Yes.
And that's what I've been watching. So after that, I did go back and watched Killing Ground. We watched that one together.
I halfway. I fell asleep like I always fucking do.
Yeah, I thought it was good as well. Like it was such a good movie. And these are like thriller, you know, to me they're horror because fuck, Eden Lake, it was probably one of the most traumatic things that I've ever seen happen to somebody like in real life without it being like, you know, purposely made horror. Like this happened to people, you know, like in real life. And it's like something that can actually develop and happen to somebody just because they were just trying to be polite. Simple little thing. And it developed so strong.
Really love a simple plot like that. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because Killing Ground is, from what I saw of it, is so similar in tone to Eden Lake. And I had been putting Eden Lake off for years and years and years. And I was telling you, I used to own a copy of it and I don't know what happened to it. It's gone. It's just gone. So whoever has it, good for you, because it's a really, really solid little movie and it's really mean and it's got a lot of good things going for it. So if y'all can handle it, I think you should watch it. And it's got that woman from Yellowstone that you really like.
She was the star of the movie. What's her name?
Let's get you the name. Kelly Riley.
Kelly Riley, yeah. And she plays opposite Michael Fassbender as her husband, or as fiance, actually, Steve.
Oh, it's a wild little ride, guys.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we recommend that one for sure.
Yeah.
I straight up gave that 5 stars.
It's such a fucking good movie. So yeah, she's the main star there, the girl from Yellowstone, and what a great fucking movie.
Yeah, I am going to recommend this movie called. Wait, is this what this is turning into? Are we recommending movies
Absolutely,
in this little segment? Okay, cool. Yeah, so we recommend Eden Lake, and Eden Lake was on Prime. I watched it on Prime.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Pray for the Bride on Tubi is something that everybody should also give a shot. What did you actually sit down and watch that with me? I don't remember.
No, I was cooking the entire time. I was like, why'd you put this movie on? I wasn't watching, girl.
That's right. Pray for the Bride just reminded me of the good old days of like Sorority House Massacre, Sorority Row, stuff like that. It was just it's just a good old throwback to that kind of horror, and it was fun. I just had like a really good time. I love that Tubi is still churning out these fun slasher movies.
It's a new movie, 2024.
Pray for the Bride. Yeah, I think you were bouncing back and forth.
I was watching from the kitchen, but what I was seeing from it, I think I would agree it's a good movie.
From what you could hear.
From what I can hear.
Yeah, it just had like little tastes of like, and it also, it kind of reminded me of Midnight Kiss a little bit, which we covered back in January.
If you like those series like Pretty Little Liars and stuff like that, that's what it reminded me of so much.
Yeah, like a bloodier version of that.
Remember the Scream MTV like series? Not that it was that graphic, but it seemed that much.
Yeah, it had like All the Boys Love Mandy Lane vibes. as well. I think we should talk about that one day. And I think the last one I want to recommend is Horror in the High Desert 3, Firewatch. Here's why. I think that this series is so fucking scary. I do.
I agree. I just feel like part 3 didn't give me as much as like 2. Like I was just like, where's the scary part? I would not want to go through anything that guy or those guys put themselves through, or the fucking like city or town of Eden, or what is it, Edna, Nevada?
Yeah.
Like what a scary name for a fucking little town.
It's my great aunt.
It's such a scary name for a town to me. Is like, and then the way that you get to that place was even scarier. So yeah, it's a scary movie. They are scary. I just feel like part 3, I was like, what happened? Like it's just a hallway to get to the next better movie, or what's coming. Like that's more graphically horrific.
They'll definitely be making a 4th movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I like that just each film is like its own story, but then there's like one link that opens the door, kind of like you just said, for a new film.
It's a hallway or a link. Yeah. I like the way you said that.
Yeah. No, I like the way you said that.
Oh, I like you. Oh,
yeah. It's kind of like those Hell House movies.
Yeah.
You know, I think that I like that horror is doing just interesting new things. And I think that like the found footage wave can kind of come back.
If you bring up Hell House, I feel like Hell House, it's just like Hell House is Hell House, right? But it's like if you watch these movies, the horror in the high desert, it kind of makes up for what the others lack.
Yeah, but these movies, these horror and the high desert movies, are all 3 consecutively really good.
Yeah, they are.
I think
really good.
I'm like quite literally like on edge.
No, they are
trying to like figure out like how I feel, and like afterward, I'm always like, wait.
And the
like,
POV, like the whole POV
dude.
part of it.
Yeah.
These guys are nuts. I would never put myself through that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, also we watched Now and Then. I mean, just for old summertime giggles.
Yeah.
And trying to feel like a kid again.
Yeah, little Winona Ryder or Christina Ricci.
Are you crazy? Winona Ryder's not in that movie.
I said that because of Christina Ricci. Like that's what I meant.
Winona Ryder and Christina Ricci were in Mermaids.
In oh my gosh, what do you call it?
You're wild.
Yeah, I am wild. Anyways, I was thinking about Beetlejuice.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah. What about In a Violent Nature 2 being announced?
Oh, I was just gonna say that actually, but I was gonna hold on to it for.
Welcome home, Sydney. Watch the preview of coming events.
As you were saying.
What was I saying?
Oh, In a Violent Nature 2, boy.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. What do you think about part 2 being announced?
I mean, you tell me, without spoiling it, because you can go listen to that episode hosted by Fun with Horror. Scotty and Andrew do a beautiful job talking about In a Violent Nature. But without spoiling it, do you remember how In a Violent Nature ended?
Do I? Shit. Refresh my memory.
I'm not going to, but we can rewatch it. So, but with that being said, what would you want from a sequel?
Well,
more of this motherfucker walking around?
Not really.
For an hour and a half.
Can we get rid of him already?
No, okay, so real talk. I enjoyed In a Violent Nature. There was a bunch of stuff I really liked about it. There was a few things I didn't like, but it's just another one of those movies where I still think about it. I still have questions. I still want some answers. So I can get behind learning more about that particular character, the villain. I mean, if he's a villain, I don't know. Is he a villain? I don't know. What about you? What do you think?
I think so. Like more of the childhood trauma. Do you think?
Yeah. Like I think that like it. See, that's a movie that I think you could benefit from learning more of the past.
Yeah,
like you can get like a prequel.
To me, it's like he could just be angry, and the more he thinks about his childhood traumas, the more violently he kills.
Yeah,
you know,
and
like,
I mean, and don't get us wrong, this first installment was pretty fucking violent, but I don't think it was as violent as a lot of people are making it out to be. There was like maybe 3 super brutally violent moments.
Yeah.
Yes, but I think that it has
all those moments you can see in Dead Alive.
Plug it up. Dead Alive.
They went all out there. They did everything. So
I just think that we should be Rita and Mandy for Halloween.
Yeah, I think so.
That could be a blast. That could be such a fun ride. Okay, yeah, in the Violent Nature too. What else is happening soon? We are going to be on Shuttle the Pod. We talked about this last week, but we're going to be discussing the movie Species. Directed by Roger Donaldson, who directed Dante's Peak. You guys, what are the odds?
That is crazy.
We didn't realize when we threw this in. Oh shit! When we threw this into our lineup that he directed Species first, actually, but then directed this. So that'll be kind of fun. We're really looking forward to talking to them about that weird, nasty little sci-fi flick.
Yeah.
Diet Alien.
So gross.
What else? Are there any movies that are coming out that you're looking forward to?
Oh, in August, what do we get in August?
Did you watch the Terrifier 3 trailer?
Yes, I did.
And?
It didn't give me much.
Okay, so I'm only excited for the fact that it's set at Christmas.
Yeah, me too.
I just don't really care. I didn't care for the first one. I liked the second one. I know you liked the second one.
I did like the second one a lot, but it was way too long. I understand that. I get it. What can possibly happen in part 3 if nothing just for entertainment's sake?
Oh, girl, it was way too long.
Yeah.
You were right. It's 2.5 hours. Give me a goddamn break.
It's long.
No way. That Alien Romulus movie is coming out.
That's what's coming out in August.
It's coming out on my dad's birthday. I cannot wait.
That one comes out for
that movie.
We also get Trap.
Speaking of Diet Alien. Trap. The M. Night movie. Did you know that Hayley Mills is in that movie? She plays like a psychiatrist.
No, they keep showing us the same trailer.
I didn't know. I wanted to see it anyway because it looks fun, but I want to see it even more because of that. Hayley Mills, y'all, the Parent Trap, the original Parent Trap. And then there's obviously Nosferatu. That's going to be coming out in Christmas. If you guys haven't seen that trailer, it looks bad fucking ass. Just saying.
I was going to say, why don't we mention that we're going to go to the Cyndi Lauper concert?
Oh my God, that is definitely
worth mentioning.
A preview of coming events, y'all. We discovered that the Cyndi Lauper I cannot talk to
farewell tour.
The Cyndi Lauper farewell tour is happening in November. So I snagged some good tickets for Alex and I, and we're gonna go have an unusual little time.
We're gonna go.
It'll be the second time I've seen her, and I'm really excited about it.
We're probably gonna cry. Yeah.
Damn, dude, she's such a good performer. Like, whatever you've seen on television or clips or anything like that, it doesn't do it justice. You're going to have a wonderful time, and I'm so excited for you to just experience it.
I'm just excited, period. Like, just to see her and to go out to that venue that she's playing at.
The Intuit Dome looks really cool.
Yeah.
I've never seen it before.
It kind of looks like a mini SoFi stadium.
Right? Mm-hmm. All right, guys, I guess now's a good time to get into
The People Under the Stairs.
Okay, Dante's Peak is a 1997 American disaster film directed by Roger Donaldson, written by Leslie Boehm, and starring Pierce Brosnan, Linda Hamilton, and Charles Hallahan.
R.I.P.
I love that name. Hallahan. Cinematography by, this is a kind of like a hard name for me to pronounce, Andrzej Bartkowiak?
You know what? I am not even going to... I'll try. Andrzej... It's probably like
Andrzej,
Bartkowiak.
but we're just like so exaggerated about it.
The man is Polish.
Yes.
We'll tell you that. He's a cinematographer.
The cinematography in the film, when they do the shots of the volcanoes and all that shit, the far away scenes are so much better than like the actual, close-up little setty scenes that I keep crying about.
The wide shots.
Yeah,
the wide shots are good.
Every single
and
thing.
The locations are what make this movie work. You know what I mean? Like they really do well with like the lush green shots. They filmed a lot of it in Idaho and mostly on location. And how they incorporate the digital shots with the actual locations is really something.
Yes. We have edited by Conrad Buff. The fifth, what is it? Fifth?
The fourth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tina Hirsch and Howard E. Smith. Music by James Newton Howard. Was there music in this movie?
Oh, the music is beautiful. What are you talking
Oh my gosh.
about?
You know, the only moment that I remember, and sorry, that was so loud, is when grandma's dying. Oh, I got there so soon. But that fucking music during that scene, god damn, why'd you gotta pair it up like that?
No, it's so good. I want to say something about the editor real quick.
Go on now.
Conrad Buff the Fourth.
I was going to say there's 3.
Well, at least Conrad Buff the Fourth. He has worked on Ghostbusters. He's worked on Poltergeist. He's worked on E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
Well, he's from Universal.
He's worked on a movie called Jennifer 8 that it was good. It wasn't that great, but it has a really good performance from Uma Thurman. He's worked on True Lies. He's also worked on Species.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
And he's worked on Titanic.
What who made Species? What company made Species?
I want to say that Species is...
Somebody help us.
I'm going to look. It's MGM.
Oh.
MGM, yeah. Okay, go ahead. Wait. I wanted to look up the other editor because...
I told you that movie Species reminds me of Showgirls. Like,
I know, you said that there's like
is.
some fun comparisons. I don't know. I'll have to watch it again. Oh, so Tina Hirsch, Gremlins, Dante's Peak. So the only one I know of is Gremlins. Oh, Twilight Zone, the movie. Okay.
Okay, yes, as I was saying, music by James Newton Howard and John Frizzle.
We love James Newton Howard, by the way.
We have a release date on this movie of February 7th, 1997. They love their 7s. The running time on this film, I have 109 minutes, which is perfect for me. Like, every movie should be about this long.
Hey, yo, as long as it's under 2 hours, I'm fine.
Yeah, then give me a part 2 if it's any longer. That's smart.
I was
split
thinking,
one movie into 2 movies and you'll be fine.
I was thinking yesterday while watching this, like, what if they remade this?
Whoa. It would be trash, like Twisters, because everything is now like so AI, and that's why they're remaking all these movies, because they're like, oh, we can find easier ways to make shit.
I don't know.
Like Celine Dion sing in Paris for the Olympics.
No, do you think that was AI?
Absolutely not. That was all
I
her.
hope not.
Like, you could see her face, like, that's Celine Dion pumping out those vocals.
I just haven't even watched the whole video yet.
So she's singing in French. That's why I kind of like just kind of heard her loudest note, and I was like, okay, the bitch is back.
Yeah, that's probably why she fucking killed it too.
This was all marketing. It was a marketing scheme just to get us to get her to the Olympics.
She knows what she's doing.
Get her to the Greek. Yes. Budget for this movie was 116 million.
Woof.
What the fuck? But it was all that set building, I'm telling you. It was all sets, honestly.
I mean, you got a big star in Pierce Brosnan.
2 of them.
I mean, Pierce Brosnan is your star.
Yeah.
Linda Hamilton.
She was there for project's sake.
Linda Hamilton didn't really have like a whole hunk of stuff under her belt.
She was getting 50 million coming her way. She was not worried about work.
That wasn't happening yet.
She was bringing that coffee that she brought during that scene was actual coffee that she brought for, them.
Right.
Because she ain't got nothing else to do, girl.
I'm looking at Pierce Brosnan right now, and he wasn't doing a whole bunch prior to this. I mean, he had played James Bond once. He was in Mars Attacks. And he really had this. He would do Tomorrow Never Dies right after this. I mean, he had Mrs. Doubtfire, and he had a couple other things since 1980. He wouldn't become like super popular until Tomorrow Never Dies. I think
it was Stu. Mrs. Doubtfire Stu.
I always thought he was so handsome.
Oh, he's still, yeah, he really is.
He was a stud.
Yeah.
Where is he from?
And we get a nice little booty shot in the beginning. So thank you, Pierce.
Do we?
Well, he's doing those push-ups. He's all angry.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? Oh, he's Irish.
What the fuck?
He's from Ireland.
No.
That is wild.
My Piercy?
Oh. That's hilarious. Oh, he's received 2 Golden Globe nominations for a miniseries from the 80s. Like the early 80s called Nancy Astor. Interesting.
Well, let's proceed. 116 million for a budget, and box office bringing in 178.1 million bucks. God damn.
I mean, but that's also not that good. Because I mean, fuck, dude, that's not good.
That was you at the theater. See, I fucking waited a little after,
and I watched it only once in theaters, but I will tell you, I got the VHS, and then when it came out on DVD, I bought it on DVD.
It's just natural disasters are awesome, dude. Like, they're just so fucking cool.
These are the movies that you want to have.
Yeah.
And that you want to see in the theaters.
Like I told you, there will never be another fucking movie made like Twister. I don't even know why they made Twisters. What a garbage. Like, it's just, I'm so mad. Like, they never should have just fucked with the name, period. Like, it's just, the original to me is so fucking Oklahoma. It's so good. It's like, there will never be one like it.
It's making a lot of money. But everybody I've spoken to that has watched it was what you had said. They had not seen Twister.
Yeah.
Or they hadn't seen it in a very long time.
That's what it is. And I was just like, I bet the people that are liking this movie is because they have not watched Twister.
Or they fucking hated it.
How could you hate Twister?
No.
They have cows.
The new one.
Oh. Okay, yes. Let's go scores. Let's do some numbers.
Before you do that real quick, though. So while it only grossed $67.1 million in the U.S., it did gross $111 million overseas.
Can you look up who it was against? Is that it?
Well, yeah, the re-release of Star Wars is why it only debuted at number 2 at the box office. So
people prefer lightsabers than volcanoes over volcanoes.
I was not that person. It made $18 million in its opening weekend, though.
So this was a big decade for Universal. They were grossing in a lot of money because isn't this when they like brought out? I mean, during this time, all of the most Jurassic Park movies.
The Lost World came out this year. Yeah, it came out later this year.
But the original movies, like
the
first
original
movies,
came out in 93. The sequel came out in 97.
Like the 90s were like literally for Universal.
Oh, Universal owned and still does.
Yeah.
The Universal, we go all the time. They own us.
Like, wow, yeah, you're right. We're there, we're paying the bill.
Okay, sorry, go on. Critical reception.
Critical reception. IMDb gave it a 6 out of 10.
Bring it. I like that.
Rotten Tomatoes, we have 28%. And Letterboxd gave it a 2.9 out of 5.
Okay, listen. It's not a perfect movie.
And Letterboxd, you're new. What do you know?
It's not a perfect movie, and I'm going to attribute that to our writer. And our writer, we're going to call him out by name, is Mr. Leslie Bowen, and we've already said his name. But he wrote a few things that I need to mention, and that would be House 3, the horror show, A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. So those are movies that I guess I never saw House 3, but A Nightmare on Elm Street 5 and Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday, big films for me as a kid. So there's no wonder I was really attracted to Dante's Peak growing up. Oh, I should be clear. He co-wrote these films. And Jason Goes to Hell, it was uncredited script work.
Oh.
So maybe we should void this whole part of the conversation.
No, leave it.
But yeah, what I was saying is that this is his fault. The dialogue in this movie is dirt fucking cheap.
And everybody has a fucking say. Like, everybody has a line in this fucking movie, even the trees.
Yeah, and we've collectively called the group of scientists or whatever that come up to like assist Paul and Harry, I guess. We've called them the one-liner crew because you don't even learn their names unless you're just not paying attention, which, let's face it, maybe you're not, and that's the script's fault.
Unless all their name is Paul, that's all I know.
Yeah. And I'm solely going to put that fault on the writer, because when this movie gets going, man, it gets going. It's good. The action scenes are really good, and the acting is pretty decent. Like, I think that the direction, the visual style that is going throughout it, they do what they can. And I think that the execution and the end result is pretty good. Bad dialogue aside.
So I just have one more number for you guys, and that is the total deaths for this movie.
Oh.
Being a total grand of 65, split between animals, humans, and a robot. I have animals, 45, fish dead, 2 squirrels, humans, I have 19, 13 victims of unknown gender. What the fuck?
What in the actual hell?
Their peepees burned. 3 men, 3 women, and then I have a total of 1 robot. Can you guess what robot it was?
It was Spider Legs.
No, Spider Legs. Yes, it was.
Our Dorothy ripoff.
That didn't do shit. All she did was get kicked.
And my favorite part is that they spent $450,000 on that piece of shit.
A lot of fucking money. And took off the most important piece of equipment for it to actually walk. And it didn't even walk.
That Connects thing. It's a piece of fucking Connects. It's a kid's toy with a camera on it. That was nuts.
It's a puppy.
This movie was shot in 96, in May of 96 to be precise. It was
Wallace, Idaho.
Shot on location in Wallace, Idaho. I want to give another couple of names from the cast because the children are important. Jeremy Foley plays Graham and Jamie Renee Smith plays Lauren. And Jamie Renee Smith has a connection to Children of the Corn 4 because she plays a young child as well in that film. And yeah, that's just one of my favorite films in the world.
That's so crazy. That exterior shots of the Point Dume post office in Malibu, California were used as USGS's David A. Johnston's Cascades Volcano Observatory headquarters in Vancouver, Washington.
Oh, that's really cool.
That's the craziest thing ever.
That's really neat. Oh, fun. This would be a good album to have.
Yeah.
I think I really like it. I know you only recall like a few certain parts of it, but I really liked it. Linda Hamilton? I mean, I think we should for a second, actually.
I mean, she's a fucking badass. This role just, like, made her, like... She did really good playing the single mom role. Like, honestly, she did. But the love between her and Pierce, like, the connection between them as characters, I didn't fucking believe for shit. Like, I believed, like I told you earlier, I felt that every time that she was around Pierce, I feel like she would stick her finger up Pierce Brosnan's ass for fun.
Yeah. She's got a very domineering type of presence.
She's the type of girlfriend that would come and grab your ass and bring you closer. Like I don't know, dude. She's such like she's just so, how do you say, like, not feminine but
masculine. Yeah,
can't get that word.
No,
yeah,
she's
masculine. She's super masculine.
She's got a scary kind of presence.
Yeah, like in Terminator, she was fucking awesome. She was amazing, perfect fucking role.
But that role is her.
Yeah,
right.
Like the cheeks and I mean her face, every single thing about her, her arms, like the muscles, like everything about her during Terminator was so fucking cool. But this movie just kind of made her like, who are you trying to trick, girl? Like, what are you doing?
And that's what I meant when we
Get a machine gun, kill that volcano.
Like, she was kind of separating from.
She knew
James
she was
Cameron.
getting 50 million.
Yeah.
This is like, sure, get me out of the house. I don't want to be depressed.
Yeah. So I'm just going to make a movie about a volcano.
Fuck yeah. You know, it's
cool.
like all the emotions that I'm feeling inside right now during this divorce can be translated into this volcano.
Yeah. It's very therapeutic.
Let's do it. Let's make a volcano movie.
She's been nominated for a couple of Golden Globes and also for an Emmy Award for
what is
that
her
show,
last
Beauty and the Beast.
Her last work. What is her last thing? The last
thing
she
did that Terminator movie. She was in Terminator like 18
in 21.
It was 2019.
What's
Terminator
this?
Dark Fate. She's on the cover and everything.
Oh
Yeah, and I think Arnold was in that one too.
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
I
What
saw
are
the
scores for
first
this
like
movie?
30 minutes of that movie, and I couldn't do it. I don't know. It was a big hit. 261 million. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. The budget was 200 million and the box office was 261. Fuck.
Up against what?
Fuck, what a bad
Austin
one.
Powers.
Okay, let's give a little bit of info on the background trivia of Dante's Peak. All the crater scenes were shot at Mount St. Helens, which I think is fucking amazing. Because I've been to Mount St. Helens. An amazing experience. Everybody needs to do it in their life. A lot of the special effects, not all of them, but a lot of the special effects were practical, and they used real world models or full-size properties and vehicles.
Why aren't we talking about the volcanic ash being made by really fine newspaper shavings? That's fucking cool as shit.
They do that a lot in movies for like snow.
That is so fucking cool. And
Like in
this
old
little
movies.
kid drove through that shit.
Oh,
We'll get there,
yeah.
but this little kid drove through that fucking fine newspaper shaving.
Dude, these kids are put in some fucking dire situations. Some
Sure.
dire ass situations. I still can't believe that there was two movies being made at the exact same time about the exact same thing almost. Like Volcano came out. When did Volcano come out?
And Volcano is the one that's set in Los Angeles. You said erupts at the La Brea Tar Pits.
In the tar pits. If you could fucking believe it.
They always have to bring something to Los Angeles.
Can
like
you
it's like Volcano
believe it?
in Los Angeles. Like,
So nuts.
why?
This one came out in April. I mean, it didn't do great either.
No.
God, but that movie's fucking terrible. You guys, we're gonna tell you now. Well, I'm gonna tell you. Have you seen it? Did you see it?
Yeah, I did see it.
Okay.
Tommy Lee Jones and Hayes.
Yeah. Ugh.
It's like, no. The beginning of the movie, you're like, how old is this movie? It's so old.
There's nothing good about it. There's nothing good.
Like, they didn't care to filter this shit for the future. It's so fucking old. It bores you like as soon as you put it on.
Yeah, not good. Rest in peace, Anne Heche.
Yes.
Oh, I guess a note about actor Charles Hallahan. This is his last movie. He was also in The Thing, which we did an episode for back in the day. We were just talking recently about how some of our episodes we're only 38 episodes in now, but it feels like they're so far away.
Yeah.
They're so like far removed. Like there are some that we have forgotten about. Enough about these people under the stairs, and it might be time to tell you why this movie is rated PG-13. And I think you might get a laugh about that. Here's why. Disaster-related peril and gore. Do you agree?
Yes.
There's a lot of disaster.
There's a lot of gore.
There is gore.
Only in the beginning, actually, but they don't give us much at the end.
At the end with the elbow.
An elbow.
At the elbow? When his elbow snaps?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, oh my God.
But
Okay.
it's not as bad as the fucking opening with the fucking piece of rock going into his wife's, brain, and then what else? The people floating in the hot
springs.
The hot spring.
Yeah. This is a nasty little movie for a movie about a volcano erupting in a little small town, guys.
And let's not forget the squirrels. The squirrels.
Oh goodness, 2 dead squirrels. I love that you did like a little kill count. How fun. Every time I want to try to say something.
Would the kill count with the volcano be classified as a slasher?
Well, I mean, the volcano itself is a slasher.
He's coming for you, Barbara.
Oh my God,
She's
these are
coming for
she.
you.
Do you know a girl named Dante?
No. Dante.
Oh, maybe they are they.
Yeah. Them, they, Dante.
There we go. Dante. Do your thing, Dante.
Do your thing.
All right, guys. Go get your hats on and go get in your cars and prepare to drive over some molten lava.
Yeah, get ready to, what is it? Get your little shovels and your, never mind. That's a geologist, or what is it? What are they called?
A geologist?
Geologist?
Yeah, a geologist. Go get your spider legs.
Go get your geology bag and your tools and shit, and let's go climb a volcano.
Oh, there we go. I like that. Dante's Peak goes like this.
It turns day into night, air into fire. Nothing in the world can compare to its power. The most awesome sight you will ever see may be your last. In the town of Dante's Peak, a volcano is turning nature into a nightmare. Come on! Pierce Brosnan, Linda Hamilton.
Oh my God.
Dante's Peak. The pressure is building.
I like the pressure is building.
The pressure is building.
The pressure is building. Okay, so do you think that trailer told too much?
It told way too much.
It did, right?
Like, way too much. Like, it made it seem like if the movie was from, like, 1 hour in, like 1 hour to the end, it was just going to be nothing but explosions and people dying and everything just falling apart and volcano after volcano and there's no end.
Yeah, I agree. And
See,
go ahead.
and that's what I like about Deep Impact is the race to the top of the mountain. You know, like,
race to the top of the mountain.
remember, like, the little kid is racing up the mountain with that one chick from
Oh, Joyride. Lily Sobieski.
yeah, Lily Sobieski. Thank you.
I'm so sorry. Fuck. Go on.
You know, that's the one thing I do like about Deep Impact is the race to the top of the mountain because, you know, the big wave's going to come and all the water, whatever. So I wish they would have done something like that here in Dante's Peak, is like a race to the top of the mountain or something, you know, to get us like somewhere. Like, where are these people headed? They're just like racing out of town.
Who are? In the trailer?
Like, yeah, like
I understand.
Like,
Okay.
no, like the actual movie, like they're just headed out of town. You know, like they just want to get away, like get out of town.
Yeah.
But in the movie, it seems like they're all gonna die. Like they're all gonna fucking Pompeii and shit.
There's a part in the trailer where Paul, the character of Paul, has his arms up and the ash is falling on him and his eyes are squinty, and it's like he's in the movie, he's like begging the helicopter pilot to come back and land so they don't die. It does happen, and I think it's a really powerful part in the movie, but they make this movie look like it's gonna be, they lead you to believe, like you just said, that it's gonna be just like sequence after sequence after sequence of volcano after volcano after volcano.
Yeah.
And I think that when you market a movie like that, it can either hurt you or, well, most of the time it's gonna hurt you. I mean, Twister, you get a tornado every like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, and in this movie, you start with a volcanic eruption and then you don't get another one for another hour.
Yeah.
And you might have like a dead squirrel, and you might have like a dead couple scattered every 20 minutes or so, but that's not the same as a volcanic eruption. And granted, it is really wonderful and awesome and action fucking packed for the last 45 minutes. But dude, it does take a while to get there.
Yeah.
So that is my one qualm with the film, and I think that the trailer does lead you in a different direction. So if you're expecting a super action-y volcano movie where there's lava flowing every moment from beginning frame to the end frame, this will not be the movie for you. But that does happen. It does happen.
So that's why it's like this was the science volcanic movie. Like, we need the Titanic volcano movie, like the one where we see people die and that's just like, oh my gosh, like, did you see that shit? Like, they just fucking burned alive.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree.
So there's still chance and opportunity for a greater volcano movie.
Yeah, but I do think that as far as the ones that exist so far, this one is pretty top notch. Pretty top notch. Yeah, I liked that. I like kind of dissecting the trailer a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love hearing the names.
And I'm glad we
Brosnan,
do, because
Linda Hamilton.
A lot of the movies that I've been picking, it's like the trailer said different, you know, and it's like, well, now we can actually break down the trailer and the difference to the movie.
Yeah, I think so too. And I love that you keep bringing up Deep Impact, because Lily Sobieski is in Joyride, and that's what we'll be covering next week.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What is happening?
Yeah. You're going to hear so much from us these next couple of weeks, guys. You're going to be so fucking sick of us. Okay, so here we go with, what is this movie called?
Dante's Peak.
Thank you, Dante's Peak.
The Dante's View.
Dante's View, the sequel. Because the mountain exploded, so now there's only a view left.
Yeah, now we're going to sell some property, girl. Get it?
Okay, we open on a mountaintop that erupts into a title card, and I think the title card is very beautiful. Villagers run amok. We're in South America. I think we're in Colombia. Is that where we are? I can't remember.
Is that where it opens?
I can't remember. They say it later on. Maybe I wrote it down, but for now we're in South America.
Yeah, we're in Colombia.
Okay. And this volcano is erupting above all of these panicking villagers. It's very scary. There's burning ash. There's lava, literally fire from the sky. And we have like natives fleeing with their baby pigs. So when we say that this is a horror film, like, this is like real life horror. You cannot stop natural disasters from happening. Like, this stuff is like real life shit. And it's pretty fucking horrifying.
You know, there's volcanoes, twisters, and earthquakes. Like, there's so much. Plus tsunamis. Like, there's so much natural disaster.
And you can't stop that shit.
Nope.
And that's much scarier than someone coming after you with a knife.
Yeah, even flash floods are scary for some people. Like, sometimes you live in those remote areas or like rural little areas where like flash floods happen and your home and everything you own just gets flooded and torn apart just by water. So quick.
No. I'm like, no, I don't like it.
We're on the 4th floor.
I mean, we have a minute to figure it out, but also if that water gets too high, what do we do?
Yeah. What do we do?
What the hell do we do?
Just keep swimming.
Okay, so we have Harry, who is played by Pierce Brosnan, and his girlfriend, played by Walker Brandt, and her name is Marion. And they are fleeing the scene and their setup, although Marion is hesitant to leave as their data is recording amazing things, etc., etc. He gets her in the truck. They're dodging huge lava rocks that are falling from the sky. One crashes through the roof of the truck and smashes Marion in the head, killing her.
Jeez. Wait, was his name Harry in Mamma Mia?
I don't remember.
No, right?
I don't remember, actually. It wouldn't surprise me. I didn't love him in the Mamma Mia movies.
No, yeah. Don't
No.
sing. Well, don't sing, man.
It's like hearing Gerard Butler as Phantom of the Opera. God, like we don't need it. We don't need it. You can be handsome, but you don't have to open your mouth.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And that's all he did for this movie was just fucking give us handsome.
You know what though? He has a few emotional cues that really worked.
Yeah.
Like there's a moment when he is with the grandma and like we're watching grandma go through what she goes through, and I really liked that. And even though it's the worst line delivery in the world, there's a moment where he's with Rachel, Linda Hamilton's character, and they're talking about like how you forget to ride a bicycle.
Oh, that's like the stupidest thing ever. It's like riding a bike, you'll never forget.
But he takes it so fucking seriously.
Yeah. And we're here eating it up. Like I'm like sitting here watching this like, are we really fucking listening to this shit? And the way she's looking at him, like
yeah, and that's where I was like, she has to be drinking.
Mommy?
Like, yeah. Okay.
I want some. I'm thirsty.
We're already at the end of the movie. That's so funny. Okay, so that was our opening. What did you think of our opening?
our opening was great, promising. I'm ready.
It's gory.
What's up?
Dude.
Where's the next volcano? Who dies next?
Gory.
Yeah, that's really fucking bad. I mean, this piece of volcano goes through the roof of the car into the skull of his passenger, being his fiance or wife, right?
It's his girlfriend. I don't even think that they were like engaged or anything.
Yeah, and the way he cries for her is the worst. Like that's that opening right there. The way he actually grabs her, he stops driving the truck, just grabs her and like hugs her, and he's just crying, like fucking belching out some fucking tears.
It's sad.
Yeah, it really is.
It's
so
really
that's
sad.
pretty promising already. So then we go. That's when I was talking about that little ass scene, right?
Oh, yeah.
Then we go, what is it, 4 years later?
4 years later.
4 years later, we go into the scene where he's just angry, you know, doing push-ups. And here comes Paul, his boss, and bothers him about this next project.
Yeah, he's on vacation in Portland, and he's called back to Vancouver because...
Bro, who goes on vacation to Portland?
He lives in Portland.
Coming home.
Portland,
we go to
baby.
Portland for
It's
vacation.
like every time we go somewhere.
I'm only going to go to Oregon for my
Oregon.
vacation.
So yeah, so Harry ends up getting called off his vacation, goes to Vancouver because there's something a-shaken in the Northern Cascades. And then this is where we're introduced to that crew of one-line droppers
So
that
this is-
we were talking about.
Vancouver, Canada, or Vancouver?
Oh, Washington, baby. Yeah.
I'm going to watch Deep Impact.
I can't wait for you to watch Deep Impact. When was the last time you watched it?
Maybe 10 years ago, honestly.
I hope it's as good as you remember
You're like, it was out 7 years ago. I always do the same thing.
Oh, it came out like 25 years ago. Okay, so we find out that Dante's Peak
Is really...
What?
What?
As I was saying, we find out that Dante's Peak is a long dormant volcano, and it is showing signs of waking up over in its home state of Washington. And this volcano, it's a beauty. She's celebrating just life. And it's a town, right? So Dante's Peak is a town, and it's being named the second safest town to live in, population under 20,000. Okay.
That one they're showing their Dante's Peak, that thing is ginormous compared to the town.
I like that you keep bringing up St. Helens as well, because this is just so incredibly similar.
Mm-hmm.
It's so incredibly similar. And it's hard for me to watch this movie and not A, get it confused, and B, just not be able to not point out things.
Now, I've been to Mount Hood, and that thing being at the base bottom of that big old mountain is ginormous enough with the hotel, you know, like right at his footbed.
Timberline?
Yeah, it's so huge. I mean, as soon as you drive into Oregon in some part, like you begin to see these big old mountains just peeking out from the distance, and they're huge mountains. Like there's that one. What is it? Mount Hood and Mount Shasta.
Shasta. Oh, Shasta's beautiful. And I didn't even know that Mount Shasta was like the biggest one.
It's the largest one.
It's
We
so
found that
beautiful.
shit out during our road trip.
Yeah, it's so nice. Okay, so Harry checks into a motel and then begins his search for Mayor Wando, who is played by our girl, I almost called her Laura, Linda Hamilton, who elsewhere is chaotically prepping for her speech at this festival, searching for her son and bantering with her daughter, played by Jamie Renee Smith. We arrive at the festival, we assure safety, we love stuff like this. I like it in movies when we know that something bad is going to happen and then the leader figure has to tell everybody, no, thank you for coming. You're all going to be okay. Not that anybody even has like a remote idea that Dante's Peak is on the verge of erupting, because nobody even thinks that.
This is Titanic speeding up.
It's perfect. And again, if you didn't catch the Titanic connection earlier, Linda Hamilton would go on to marry James Cameron, who directed Titanic, and then divorce him and get $50 million.
Which is kind of wild, because I think these movies were going up against each other in graphics. Oh my gosh, Titanic, this movie, and Troopers. What was that movie? Troopers? Starship Troopers? Yeah, it came out and they were going against this movie for graphics, because this movie, they spend a lot of money like designing, and I'm like, it looked like a lot of sets to me, but in all honesty, it was all little miniature sets and stuff. So when it came time for award season, they were up against those other movies, Starship Troopers and Titanic, for their, the graphics in these movies.
I love that.
Let's make a movie.
That's really fun. I used to love the girl who plays the daughter, Jamie Renee Smith, when I was a little kid. Like, I was like super, super into Children of the Corn 4, like I said. And there was this movie called Mirror Mirror that was like a younger version of Labyrinth. I tried watching that movie like a year ago, and it's like one of the worst things I've ever seen. Watching this now, like, she's also not terrific, and she's a little Pet Cemetery Ellie Creed.
Oh, here, let me give you the little facts on what I just said, so it's not just a little fact dump of mine. Despite the complexity of its visual effects, Dante's Peak was not nominated for an Academy Award for Best Visual Effects that year, as it faced stiff competition from The Lost World, Jurassic Park, Starship Troopers, and Titanic, the eventual winner of the award.
Wait, so it wasn't nominated?
It wasn't nominated. Because of that, like, literally, it was up against these beasts of,
and see,
visual effect movies.
I don't understand how you can nominate like The Lost World over something like this when we've already seen something like The Lost World before.
Yeah.
Like, you already saw Jurassic Park, and
Exactly.
Jurassic Park won. Like, come on, see something new, like like Dante's Peak.
It's true, because you're giving life to a natural disaster. Like, hello, people. Like, what the fuck? It deserves an award. Yes, it does. Like, look what they did with little fucking miniature towns that I kept crying about that look so much like sets to me. Like, these people did such a good job that these look like real big life sets to me, and they're little miniature ass towns. Every single part of this movie.
I think it's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
And in the third grade, I had to make a volcano out of Play-Doh, and I had to like make fake lava out of the Play-Doh and like make like a little village surrounding it. And I got to put baking soda and vinegar in it to make the lava and like extra lava come out of it, like as like an effect. And it was like one of the most proud moments. So I can only imagine what these special effects people feel when they get to see like their projects come to life.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's got to be a really, really special
And then
feeling.
not nominated.
And then not get nominated.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah, like that's
Because here comes Titanic.
that's a fucking bummer. And oh my god, though, Titanic.
I know.
Let's be honest. I want to give a shout out to the special effects team for this film, though.
Let's do it. They deserve it.
The special effects here are just fucking top notch, especially for this movie being nearly 30 years old. I mean, over 30 years old.
Yeah.
Wait, no, not quite. Not quite. We're almost 30 years old. It's only 97.
What is going on with you today?
It's just been a long day. It's been a long day. Speaking of which, we move on to a hot springs somewhere on the mountain where a visiting couple who I think are just backpacking or something, they get naked and they take a dip in the hot springs. And whenever the music gets a little somber and eerie, I think we can safely bet that something bad is going to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then just as this happens, birds start to scatter, the water starts to bubble, and these little hotties begin to burn from the lava that starts to scathe from beneath them.
Yes.
Dude, the volcano is a killer.
It's already coming at you.
It's like,
coming for you.
it's a fucking killer.
And we're also in the forest with two people that are just about to have sex. You know, like, hello, it's a slasher.
Yeah, like the volcano might as well be Jason.
The only thing that was missing was a 6-pack of quarters.
A little joint.
And a little, I'll be right back.
Oh, the fuck. At the festival, Harry meets Rachel, and we find out Harry is from Portland. He tells us that, and he joins her on her search for her son, Graham, who is with his friends in an abandoned mine. She also goes to show Harry the mountain. I love the family dynamic of Rachel and her kids.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of my mom growing up.
Your mom?
Yeah, minus one kid, but just like having to like do a lot on her own and make shit work. Whether
Don't forget her baggage, mother-in-law Ruth.
I know. Oh God. And we'll get to Ruth in a second, but I love the line with Harry when he says to Lauren, "Do you get in trouble?" And she goes, "No," and he goes, "Of course not."
Like, hello.
It's so fun. And then we get a character named Jane. Do you remember Jane at all?
Jane is who? That annoying girl is the assistant?
She's one of the
Paul's
women.
assistant?
It's not Paul's assistant. It's a woman who, this is her. I'm going to pull up her picture. It's that woman who just like randomly shows up. She has like a really pretty hairdo in the movie. And she gets introduced to him later. And she's like, "Oh, this is Jane Fox." And she's like, "Oh, nice to meet you."
That's
when
all
they're
she
in the
says.
car. She only pops up like 3 or 4 times, but she's been in a few other movies that I really like. And she's always she's so quirky. And you can always tell she just has so much fun being in whatever movie she's in. I just love it whenever she pops up. I wish that she was in more. Wait, is she still alive? She is, right? Okay, yeah. It looks like. Looks to be. Okay. The kids want to go to grandma's. And so this is where we are introduced to Ruth. Tell us about Ruth.
Ruth is annoying. She is the mother-in-law. So she's the ex-husband's mother. Yes, right?
Yes.
Yes. And she still has a connection with her because of the kids is the only reason. Because the kids, you know, they want to see grandma most of the time.
Oh, they love her.
Yeah, that's about it. But this woman is very stubborn.
She's a stubborn old
She's a
bitch.
stubborn woman that just likes to be in her own home. And they kind of like have this love-hate relationship, you know, going on.
Yeah, it's very much how my mom was with my grandma, my dad's mom.
Yes.
And I feel like it's so common probably.
And this is the character that they give us for the sake of her living at the base of the volcano and, you know, the whole, we have to go get Ruth.
Well, also, this is very Mount St. Helens. There was a man named Harry S. Truman that lived at Spirit Lake, which was the lake that was at the base of Mount St. Helens. And he had lived there for like 50 years. And he was very adamant about not moving from the mountain when they did the evacuation.
So he became president?
Well, yeah, basically. And so when they evacuated the mountain, he didn't leave. And then when the mountain blew, obviously, he died. And like it's one of the big stories of the mountain. Like he didn't go. He left. He died when the mountain blew.
I hope he has a bench up there erected for his name.
I'm sure he was just a stubborn old asshole.
You stubborn old asshole. That's what the bench says.
Ruth
Reads.
was in Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 3, by the way.
Go Ruth.
Fuck off,
She
Ruth.
also was in Pet Sematary as Judd.
Okay.
She's so like, you know, she's just like Judd, like very like short, quick, get to it. You know, like
She's got that main thing going on.
Yeah, exactly.
I really have to reiterate like how similar this was to my growing up. Like we would go visit my grandma up at the lake, up on Mount Hood every summer. And like, again, my mom and her had this relationship just like Rachel and she did. And it's just kind of fun to watch it play out.
What a wonderful upbringing to be like, oh, Mount Hood for the summer upbringing.
It was
Lake.
Looking back on it now, like I was a little.
Well, you don't do that here in California, do you? You don't even go to the beach. Like, if you live out here in California, we don't even go to the beach.
I was so resistant as a kid, but I wish I'd relished it more as a kid. You know what I mean? Something stuck in my throat. I'm so sorry, you guys.
It's called guilt.
Good one. Okay. Harry tests acidity in the water while the kids and Grandma play. 98% of the time, these little visits are false alarms, he tells her. But the other 2%, well, are these movies.
Oh, shit. There's your volcano.
Yeah. They visit the hot springs. They come across maggot-infested squirrels that are a part of the kill count from earlier. And there are dropping all over the mountain, I guess.
Yeah.
And then we also get this shot of just how dangerously close the town is to the base of the mountain. And if and when the mountain erupts, which it's going to in about an hour and a half or so, which it will in about an hour or so, we are fucked.
Yeah, and it's an overwhelming size compared to the town.
100%. And I like this next quote. A man who stares at a rock must have a lot on his mind. Shut the fuck up.
What is wrong with her?
Like, shut up.
You can stare at a rock and find tons of beauty within a rock. You have to stare at a rock when you're buying the right ring as well. What
does that mean?
Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Oh, you be quiet. You're not going to propose to me over a Dante's Peak episode.
Hint, hint, wink, wink.
This cutie, I love it. Oh, there's a dog, by the way. Ruffy.
Scruffy.
Grandma has a dog named Ruffy. Beautiful baby. We love Ruffy. Yes, Ruffy gets put in imminent danger later.
Ruffy creates his own danger. It's like, hurry up, dog.
No, Ruffy's a girl.
Oh, Ruffy creates her own danger. It's like, hurry up, dog.
Oh, you're so funny. Oh, also, 7,000 years ago was the last time this mountain was active, by the way.
Wow.
And how do we know that?
The oh my gosh, that reminds me of that.
The Rock is how we know that, by the way.
Yeah. Sorry, I was like lost in that documentary that you were showing me about the explosion of that volcano, where the tourists got on the boat and they got off to see the volcano because it was a little steamy, and they were videotaping around this volcano. Am I moving forward? Were you going to talk about this anyways?
No.
But yeah, like they get off and they're like exploring this little area around the volcano, around the crater, and then the volcano actually erupts, like it explodes while they're on the volcano. And how many people died? 26?
I think 45.
Oh my gosh, yeah, like 45 people that did not get to make it back onto the boats from when they were exploring the lands, because they were rushing people onto the boats to get them back to safety.
White Island.
Yeah.
Is what that was called. I want to confirm that was the how many people died, because I don't want to.
So this island is just a huge volcano that has created itself from eruption and eruption and eruption, and has just, created this. So yeah, 22 fatalities. There you go. It exploded on December 9th of 2019. So that was fairly recent, not that long ago, because we think that volcanoes are extinct, and that was a thing from dinosaurs past.
No, girl.
They're
yeah,
still
this is on Netflix, by the way. You should watch it while I'm at work.
Yeah, it was really good.
It's a really fucking fascinating documentary. Okay, so we also don't make it into the hot springs, which is where we were headed, of course, because Lauren discovers the two burnt up bodies from a few minutes ago floating atop of it, dead.
I love the makeup, the way they did these bodies. Like, you could see the actual boils on the body, which you confuse for fucking bikinis, but they're not. They're actual just boils all over the body. I was like, is she wearing a floral bikini? And I look closer, I'm like, that's her fucking skin and muscle. Okay, that's her actual heart beating.
Yeah, these bodies are fried.
Yeah.
They fuck these bodies up. So when they say that this movie is rated whatever for whatever, like, this is why. Like, there is some pretty gruesome aftermath going on.
Yeah.
So the kids go off with Grandma. Rachel and Harry call a city council meeting. So the council fights on if we should or shouldn't evacuate. I mean, bro, there isn't a lot of people in this town, so why not just go?
Yeah, or why not just tell us what you need to tell us right here, like over the announcement and the speaker.
Yeah, if there's like 7,000 people in this town, just...
Oh my gosh, that's me. You think that was... I was like, I couldn't...
Oh, I thought it was me this whole time.
Guys, I'm sitting close to my microphone and my glasses are hitting the microphone, and I keep seeing Stanley adjusting his, believing that maybe it was him hitting it. And I just realized that it's my glasses hitting the mic. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll figure a way to... Hold on, let me...
No worries.
Hello? No!
What is it?
Luxor, Nuxor, burst and burn!
What is she doing?
Just a kiss. Have a nice day.
What was I saying?
We were talking about, okay, so the kids go off with grandma.
Uh-huh.
Rachel and Harry call a city council meeting.
Yeah, anybody want to go to council meeting?
No.
No.
I'd never been to one.
But also, why couldn't they just tell us over the speaker, like the announcement of whatever they were going to say?
Oh, yeah, like over the town speaker.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Like, I don't want to go to a meeting just so you can tell me that
Well, these days we just post it on Facebook.
I need to leave town.
Yeah, guys, don't come to... Oh, wait. Guys, the volcano is going to be erupting. Please leave.
Yeah. Get out. Like,
Okay.
Leave at your own will if you want, or stay behind, but you probably have to leave if they're bringing in the army, right? Like the National Guards.
Which they do, eventually.
Get out. Evacuate.
The council fights on if we should or shouldn't evacuate. Our one-line group shows up to give us one-liners, such as, our nice cozy town just right up against a mountain, huh? Yeah, just like Pompeii. Stuff like that.
Yeah. And these are that's it. That's all we get from these people.
Like, again, I couldn't tell you their names until about halfway through the film.
We don't want their names. Get out of here.
Paul interrupts the council and has a private convo with Harry and basically condemns him for making the people feel uneasy. He then tells everyone that he and his own team will be there to make sure everything goes smoothly. If anything goes wrong, they'll be the first to let them know. He then sends Harry home, back to his vacation that he, Paul, interrupted. So this is where I have problems with the script. Why did he call him in the first place?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, who's the bad
For
guy
what?
here? Is it Paul or is it Dante?
It's Paul. He's making all the wrong mistakes.
Paul, from this point forward, like, every time I see Paul, I want to punch him in his fucking face.
He is nobody here. He is from the United States Geological Survey Department, or yeah, something like that, right? And then we have the mayor of the town, but this guy has all the say.
It's like you called your best man off of his well-earned vacation to go...
To bring him here so you can tell him not to start panics or start getting people out of this town, which needs to happen yesterday.
Yeah, and it all boils down to the tourists are going to get scared
I love
off.
how you said that.
You liked that,
Boils.
right? Yeah, the tourists are going to get scared off if they put the town on alert. And Paul is the one that tells them this. He literally is like, so y'all are going to lose money if you put the town on alert. You're going to experience chaos. You're going to lose out on tourism.
Listen, he's seen the iceberg and he sees it in your eyes.
Yeah. Sorry, Linda.
I know.
So the one-liner crew and Paul head to the bar where Harry has wound up. Paul and Harry bear out with each other because there's a little bit of gay undertones with these guys. And Harry insists on staying, and Paul says, okay, sure, but you're my bitch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's so weird because it's like we just said, he's there because Paul made him go there. And then he's sending Harry home because he's doing what Paul asked him to do. But now he's staying and making him do only what he says to do. And Harry's like, okay.
Yeah. And
What?
Harry's like so over dramatic with like everything he does from here on.
It's just plot holy.
Yeah.
Like that's where like the character development is kind of weird between those two particular characters. Like they could have cleaned up a few things and made their relationship make a little bit more sense, because it's like now there's all this tension and it doesn't really explain why. Like you jumped from this to this and you didn't fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
Right? Harry goes to visit Rachel.
You're so exhausted. You're like,
Yeah,
fucking
like
plot.
it just doesn't add up for me.
Goddamn writing.
Harry goes to visit Rachel, who is also a barista out of her own home. And this is, again, where some of the dialogue just goes a little shifty.
Squirmy for
It's
me.
just-
Get the fuck out of here.
It's just needled in. You like eggplant parmesan?
Yeah. For breakfast, he says?
Yeah.
She's like, for dinner.
For dinner.
Like,
She-
that's her way of asking him out for dinner. Like, out on dinner.
She
Like,
invites him to dinner.
she's so butch.
It's very butch. She's drunk and butch and trying to be the man.
And now bipolar. But no excuse, no reason. But
Maybe it was written in a role reversal. Maybe he was supposed to be playing her part and she was supposed to be playing
oh no.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe the volcanologist was supposed to be
The girl.
Rachel and the
Which
mayor
would
was
have made
supposed to
more
be Harry.
sense.
It actually could.
It would have made a lot more sense
in certain parts.
because then it would have made sense. Like she would have looked like a butchy woman that loves exploring rocks, and that's why she looks muscular. You know, like that's why she looks the way she looks. It would have made a lot more sense than putting her in those silk overalls and handing out coffee, trying to be cute.
I think in '97 they wouldn't have done that.
Yeah,
It's just not something that would have happened.
no, not really.
Unless you were Jodie Foster, and Jodie Foster was not about to be in this movie.
Jodie Foster probably would have directed it, and she probably would have been the girl.
In our perfect world.
Yes.
So the next part, we're in the crater, baby. And this is actually in the crater of Mount St. Helens.
This is amazing that they actually went up there to do this.
It's so rad. You can see Mount Adams in the distance.
That's so cool to me. Like the fact that they filmed this with actual gravel that's right below their feet from Mount St. Helen, like the actual real Mount St. Helen.
Visually, it's so, so beautiful. And knowing that most of these shots are actually genuinely real only elevates the beauty. It's so fucking cool. So one of the one-liners who stands out because he's chubby and funny and loud, and if it was today, would be played by Zach Galifianakis, and who all throughout my notes until a certain point I called Jeff, but his name is actually Terry.
There he is.
He and Harry and a pilot go into a helicopter to Dante's crater, which is the Mount St. Helens crater, so they can detect the activity. And there are minimal sulfur emissions.
Well, we're dropping off that spider legs, right?
No activity. No, not yet.
Oh.
That happens later. Yeah.
Okay.
So far, it's just a quiet volcano. They just want to make sure that there's like no movement, which there isn't. Not yet. Rachel and Harry have dinner with the kids. He does magic tricks for them. They bond. It's cute. Rachel gives backstory on her failed marriage. The music here is really, really nice. And we also get Harry's backstory with Marion and how she died 4 years ago. And I like how he says that he goes wherever there is a volcano with an attitude.
Oh, there you go. Dante's Peak.
I like that. And then he also says, if this thing blows, if she does the Mount St. Helens, the blast will be here within a minute. And by here, he means where they are sitting, because her doorstep is quite literally on the foot, like at the foot of this mountain.
Yeah.
Ooh, she's at death's door every day. Like, how do you live like that? I'm asking.
No, I would not be able to. No, it's like living in those like those homes that are on the hill that are like just, you know, like pillars are holding it up, like wooden little legs.
Yeah.
Are holding this big old mansion up. Like, no, I don't know how people live like that.
You might as well be screwing your truck into the ground and trying to
fucking shoot fireworks at a twister.
Yeah.
At a tornado.
That's awesome. Barf.
Yeah.
So Rachel goes to bring coffee and treats to our one-liner crew who have stationed at a motel in
annoying
town.
Fucking part of the movie.
I hate the goofy-haired guy.
He's so fucking annoying at the scene. Like, coffee. Like,
100%.
Fuck up.
And I
my
wish I
gosh.
knew who this guy was.
Coffee.
What is his name? Grant Heslov. And he was in so much in the 90s. Like, you just found him in everything. He was in Congo. I remember him from
he
Congo.
was in Congo. You're right.
And I think he's a big producer now. He was in, or he produced The Tinder Bar with
Congo
Ben
was
Affleck.
a good movie.
I loved Congo when I was growing up. I haven't seen it in so long.
Neither have I.
Oh, he produced August Osage County with Meryl.
Oh, really?
That's interesting. Yeah. He produced Good Night and Good Luck with Clooney. And I wonder if he acts anymore. He might not act anymore. Yeah, I think he's just a producer. Good for him. He stopped acting. Thanks, man. I mean, he hasn't changed. Look at his face.
No, he has
Shit.
not.
He looks exactly the same. Also good on him.
There's people that do that.
Yeah, fuck, dude. Okay, yeah, he says, what does he say? He says the line about Java, like you said.
Yeah,
and then
coffee, Java.
and then he
latte,
says,
something.
this town is officially worth saving.
Yeah.
Because of her good coffee. Okay, this is where we're introduced to the Dorothy machine called Spider Legs.
This guy.
So it's recording 25 to 75 earthquakes a day. There's a weight problem to it, though, due to something that is attached to the side of it called ELF. It's like a little machine, which stands for Extreme Low Frequency. It's a machine that has been paid for and designed by NASA, and they're testing it out on the spider legs. I don't really understand much else about it.
No, that's really all it does.
But when Jeff/Terry, whatever his name is, removes it, it makes the pack thing lighter, the robot lighter, and more able to move and maneuver within the crater of the peak, which is where we go next. So Spider Legs gets caught in the crater. Terry has to go get it, and while he's climbing down to do that, there's a quake. He gets really fucked up, and yeah, he should be dead, but he's not. He just has a broken leg.
I feel like the entire mountain came down on him.
Yeah, there's like a really terrible fucking quake in the crater, and his face is bloodied. He's buried by rocks, and they have to get airlifted. That's what it is. It's frightening. Like, can you imagine being airlifted? This podcast should be called Can You Imagine?
No. And I think the scene, like, I was paying attention to it, and like Pierce Brosnan is like super fucking dramatic when the helicopter's going up. He's like, go, 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 like yelling at the helicopter. And I feel like the director or somebody must have told him that this is your big scene. This is your action scene. The volcano's going to explode and you're rescuing him out of here. You're rescuing Terry out of here. So like once you see the helicopter lifting, just get as action as you can. And then like Pierce Brosnan's face changes and he's like, go, 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 go.
Well, did you catch the part where
I'm like, nothing's happening?
Well, the guy, the helicopter pilot has been circling and he's just waiting to come back. But since the earthquake happened, he doesn't want to come back. So now he's renegotiating his rate or he won't go back.
He won't go back.
Which is fucked up. And this is the same co-pilot that later on is charging people $15,000 for him to take them out of the disaster zone.
Jeez.
And they're the same ones that fucking crash and die and get sucked up into tornadoes. Idiots.
Good for them.
So Paul still doesn't want to call an alert, and the one-liner crew have no interest in helping to convince him that something bad is going to happen in 10 minutes. Paul just fucking sucks, dude. I fucking hate Paul. Whoa, are we having an earthquake? Did I do that?
You hit the table.
You're like, you fucking dummy.
Oh my gosh. Okay, no earthquake. No volcano.
Harry goes to the bar with the crew anyway.
Again.
Rachel is there. He walks her home. We get that beautiful music as he does.
That's wonderful. Like, do it in that voice. It's better.
Oh. And they walk across a dark bridge.
Like, what happens to Rachel?
And they have a Jane encounter. Jane, the girl that you don't remember. Do you remember this?
Here she comes.
So when they're walking across the dark bridge, the woman comes across them. She drives right by them while they're walking across the bridge.
No, I don't remember her at all. Like, why do I need to remember this woman? Is she important?
No, I just love her. She's in a movie. She's in a movie with Alicia Silverstone from '95 called The Babysitter.
Don't make me pay attention to this useless character.
No, she is pretty useless, but she is just a fun actress. She just reminds me of every customer that comes into
You're so funny.
Calabasas.
You're like, do you remember her now? And I'm like, no.
God
like,
damn
is
it.
she memorable?
God damn it. Okay, guys, we're about 51 minutes in. Alex does not remember Elizabeth Hoffman.
No.
And we're finally getting some intimacy between the two lead characters, and
it's gross.
It's not great.
No.
But by intimacy, I mean it's a metaphor, and it's the riding a bicycle metaphor.
It's the grossest thing between both them. Like, please don't touch him. Like, please get away from him and her, and like, don't touch each other and like say this. Like, I just don't believe it. I don't believe the story development between these two.
It's so bizarre. Things are like, as far as they're concerned, things are spicy now.
Yeah.
Spicy as fuck.
And now that I know, he's just so Irish and she's just so butch. Like, Which
is fine. The butch and the Irish should be connected.
It's true, but it should be one person.
Connect.
A butchy Irish, not an Irish butch, not
Maybe if Linda Hamilton was a volcanologist who was battling her split personality, who was a butch barista.
No.
Yeah,
she wouldn't be from this town, or she lives in this town because she wants to explore more of the volcano. Like,
and Pierce Brosnan was her doctor.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
No.
I love this movie I'm creating.
No.
Okay, so they.
And she also like reads rocks I was gonna say Crocs. Reads rocks.
Sure.
So
Well, she's a volcanologist.
You put some rocks in your hands, and then you throw them on the table, and she touches them, and she sees your future.
Is this the Beastmaster all of a sudden?
Oh, I used to buy rings like the Beastmaster with the eye in it, like when I was a kid.
I think we're gonna save
With the claws.
the Beastmaster conversation for our Patreon,
Beastmaster.
because Beastmaster was a fun trip.
More like,
I know Beastmaster was like a softcore porno.
yeah.
Fuck, dude. Okay,
I think we should all wear those.
We're
little
getting
skirts.
sidetracked. I know we should. We have sulfur in the water now. This is where they go turn on the water faucet because Lauren has interrupted their almost kiss and the water is contaminated.
It's sulfur.
So Harry alerts Paul with the scientific evidence he's needed all this time. We find out the quakes are escalating. The gas readings are going up. It's still too early to tell how much time we have, but it's officially time to put this motherfucking town on alert.
Yeah, gas levels are rising dramatically. Everybody's finally convinced that volcano will erupt.
So we have this council meeting at the gymnasium because that's where we have council meetings from Cherry Falls to Dante's Peak, Washington. That was a plug,
I
by
love
the way.
how the National Guard doesn't have time for them until tomorrow.
Well, no. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Do y'all have helicopters?
Helicopters can't
helicopters-
fly during this.
Why?
Because they can't get there and then fly back up when there's like all
They
pyroclastic
can get there
clouds.
before it explodes, like before it erupts.
But then when it erupts,
well,
though, what are they going to do?
listen, Linda. If they wouldn't wait 2 days, a day before they would have got there, the volcano wouldn't have erupted. They would have literally. Well, they can't get everybody out. Well, maybe. I mean, those helicopters are huge. You could fit like at least 50 people into one helicopter or more.
Can you?
Have you seen the size of those big old double, propeller
I have not.
helicopters?
But also,
You know,
there's
like-
7,000 people in this town, and when people are like in chaotic reaction, it's probably not in the best of interest to create like a spectacle like that. I'm just saying.
You're gonna wait till the last minute. That spectacle is gonna happen anyways.
Well, here we are.
Voila. Right? Am I right or am I wrong?
I don't know what to
Am I
tell
right?
you.
Like, this is drunk Linda Hamilton.
What do you guys think about this? Let us know.
Right.
What would you do? What would you do if I hit this fucking table one more time? One more time.
Get your legs away from there, Stanley.
Okay, so here's where I end up with a few more questions about the parenting of Miss Rachel Wando, because
Rachel does not do any parenting. It's her son that does all the parenting.
before they go to the council meeting at the gymnasium, they decide to leave the kids at the house alone to pack some things, because also Ruth, they got a hold of her once and she's refusing, much like Harry Truman, to come down from the mountain. And so
Yeah.
they leave the kids to pack some things, and the kids are very upset, and they are going to continue to call grandma until she answers.
Get over it, Ruth.
It's a stressful situation. I mean, the volcano is a ticking time bomb, and they're right underneath it. And I mean, they just leave these kids though. Like you can't take the kids to the council meeting.
Like, I know. And also, like, during this scene, like, doesn't it feel like something's happening? Like like in the real life, like, as you're watching as the audience, like, doesn't it feel like you're actually in the moment? Like, I don't know if you've ever, like, experienced something like that dark. Like, when I was a young kid, there was a trailer right next to our home that some woman was cooking beans in it, and she put her kids to sleep at the back of the trailer home. This trailer home was located in the back of a house. The gas tank exploded from the trailer, killing, the kids inside of it, which is not the point of the story, but everybody inside of the trailer died. And the smoke that this trailer created throughout the entire neighborhood, like the entire neighborhood changed color. Like, it went from daytime to complete darkness because of how much smoke was coming out of this trailer that was burning. And we can hear the woman like wailing, her kids, and these kids are gone. This trailer was engulfed in flames, and like the entire neighborhood was just covered up. All you see is like these cars turning on their headlights, like coming down the street, because it was literally that dark and so much ash falling. I can just imagine like what this was like during the moment that this volcano is starting to erupt and the commotion that's going on and these little earthquakes that are happening now, and like how this, you know, like it's just like such a moment that feels so intense is happening to these people. And I, as an audience member, because I've seen stuff like that, or been experiencing earthquakes and things that happen after earthquakes where we get to sleep in the front yards and sleeping bags and go find water and certain things that we need because of the aftershocks that are happening, and you don't know how long it'll take. This terrifies me to know like what is developing right now in this small little town and what these people are about to go through, and like the escape from Witch Mountain is about to happen. Like literally, it's so scary to me. Like what is about to happen to these people, and this fucking grandma's not understanding. Like, you need to come down and we don't have time to go up and get you.
Grandmas never understand.
And she's fighting over the phone. Like, she's not going. She ain't going anywhere. And it's like, girl, you better fucking just come down that mountain because nobody has time to go get you.
And no one said she like takes her phone off the hook.
Yeah. And it's the kids calling you. Like, she should just listen.
At the council meeting, mostly the entire cast and crew is there. And
coffee.
It doesn't take long before there is an earthquake, much like the one that you are talking about, that it sounds like you're scared of.
Earthquakes.
Yeah. And this is at the 56-minute mark. So for those who are interested in skipping ahead of the entire film and just getting to the good stuff, this is where Dante blows her peak.
Yeah. Good one. Good one.
And
good one, Dorothy.
Thank you. And it's pretty exciting. It holds up.
Yeah, now we're watching a volcano movie, right?
Yeah, and lucky all of you, there is still 45 minutes left of this movie.
Oh, goddamn.
It's just like, it at first it's pretty mellow. At first it's pretty mellow. You just see like the top blow, the smoke comes out, and the fume and the ash, and the town meeting goes nuts. The gym starts to fall apart, and then you have people stomping over each other. Harry and Rachel escape, and then the one-liner crew races out from the motel that they're in, and their sign falls down, and then like the buildings start to collapse. And then this watch, I noticed a few things. The church falls down, which I thought was kind of symbolic.
The tower?
Yeah, it was kind of symbolic this time, because right after the church falls down, before that, you had Rachel and Harry saying, "Oh God."
Oh, wow.
And then the church falls down.
Is that when it falls over the bus, right? Or on top of a school bus?
It does something like that, yeah. And then because of that, my next note was right after that, the school bus, and then the little girl on the porch crying, and then the stuffed animal in the window falling backwards. There was like the loss of like an innocence type of situation.
Yeah.
Theme, because like how do you
goes your childhood
exactly
with trauma?
How do you recover from something like this? And then I remembered being scared in the theater when this whole scene started going down.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, because it's just like
popcorn.
It's nerve-wracking. Yeah, I saw it with my cousin Jamie, who's a terrible bitch. But back then we saw a lot of movies together, and I remember just being really excited and really, really on edge. And still, this whole last 45 minutes really puts me in a really on edge space, you know?
And Paul still doesn't think nothing's happening, so he's not giving permission to evacuate yet.
How funny. I think he's on board.
Like, it's fine, more coffee.
Java. Stupid.
I know.
So Rachel's reflection in the window, I think, is a really cool shot.
That is the coolest shot. If you miss this shot, don't blink. Like, literally, you'll miss the shot, but it's the coolest shot to me too, like to see the reflection through the window.
Yeah, it's really cool. I also I don't know what I was going to say. I was going to say that Paul admits right here that he was wrong. This is the part where he was like, for what it's worth, I was wrong and you were right. But also,
you have my permission.
Fuck off, Paul. It's too late. So Harry and Rachel head towards the kids, and getting there is like a nightmare. For the next 10 minutes, they're put in so many dangerous situations. The bridges are collapsing. This is where the miniature stuff comes into play, but it works so well. You can barely tell, if you can tell at all. It's everything looks so good. Like every visual of the volcano
Yeah.
is amazing from what I can tell. I've never seen a volcano eruption up close. I've seen Mount St. Helens erupt very, very briefly and in a very small way back in 2004 from a very far distance, but nothing like this.
Yeah,
so
this is scary.
I feel like this looks good.
Like the town at this point is like, to each their own, save your life if you can, get the fuck out of my way. Like everybody's running into each other. There's no control. There's no fucking out. Like, where are you going? That's what I'm saying. Like, where are you going? Where are you headed? Like, at least, let me say one more time, Deep Impact gave us a hill to run up to, like, get to the top.
Like, where do you go, though?
Where do you go?
Like, do you go up the mountain? Because you can't leave town because there are traffic jams. There are things falling on your car. The bridge is blocked or it's falling down. There are people everywhere. You're
And
like...
let's not forget the giant fireball that's, like, approaching you. Like, it's gonna get to you.
And pretty soon you get lava.
Yeah.
You get all that lava. Oh, God. And, like, it's just everything...
Java.
Everything just gets, like, worse. It's just... Everything gets worse. So they find that the kids have gone from the house to go up the mountain to go to grandma's house. And they left a note saying, don't be mad. But I would be mad if I were the kids, having been left at home. So mama can fuck off.
I would be driving, fucking playing REM's It's the End of the World.
Honestly.
It's the end of the world.
So the next set piece is insane, and I think we should talk about it. Harry drives into the river, and his engine has a snorkel. And other cars follow suit, but they're obviously not going to make it because their engines do not have snorkels. This is a moment of pure anxiety, and it's so fucking horrible.
And by snorkel, sorry, he means those big old, it's like what do you call those things? A snorkel, right? When you go snorkeling, those big pipes that stick out of your mouth up into the air. Like some trucks have that as a muffler that actually stick up above them so they can go into the water. And that's what you mean by snorkel. So sorry, go ahead.
Isn't it called a snorkel?
Yeah, no, but just for people that are like, what the fuck's a snorkel?
Oh,
Why
it's
does
so funny.
Truck have a snorkel?
Well, hopefully you guys have seen this movie and you know what we're talking about. I love it. I, for one, do not even think I would be smart enough to try this, even if I had a snorkel on my engine.
My stress level would be so fucking high up, dude. Like, I would be so mad. I'd be like, can we just go the other way? Like, honestly, like there's a part where they put the kids in the truck as well after the scene. They put the kids in the truck. They're all together, and then they go through the whole lava shit, which it terrifies me. The fact when like adults put kids through these situations, even though it's the safest thing, maybe, or like they're just trying to think, you know, like let's just get these kids to the safest place. It's still the scariest choice, you know, to have the control over somebody's life that you're making and being the hero at that time. And you're like, are you even making the right choice? Like the right decision, like for these kids? Like,
I'm wondering if it's like the paternal instinct that sets in.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
You're older and wiser than these 10-year-olds. So you just think that...
I just hate that adults put kids through that. Like, it's okay, we're gonna get through it, and it's like the adult doesn't even fucking know if they're gonna get through it or not, but they put these kids through so much stress. It's like the most, like, could not go through that shit.
It's just pure hope, you know. The next scene I think is really sad and effective, and I know we already talked about it because it's kind of in the trailer and we've talked about it already, but this is where the pilot is going to accept $15,000 from people, and Paul is begging from the ground for him to come back, knowing that if Ash gets stuck in the engine, they're doomed. The helicopter conveniently crashes almost directly on top of Rachel and Harry before it explodes. We repeat on numerous occasions that there is not enough time to go up this mountain, but Harry and Rachel go up this mountain. The kids make it to Grandma. Ruffy the dog disappears into the ash.
God damn dog.
There is a landslide that wipes out the entire road, making it to where we are not able to get back down the mountain. But we have all arrived at Ruth's. It's a kind of a happy little reunion, but obviously Rachel is not happy with her because she is blaming her for her kids driving up the mountain because she's the one who did not come down.
She's stubborn.
Now, this is where the mountain is spewing lava. Bright, burning, red fucking lava that you would see in your nightmares.
We're here.
So Paul and the one-liners have decided to stay until the show is over because why not?
They're at the bar again.
Yeah, right? Fucking drinking and not believing anybody.
Yeah.
Ugh, I hate, like, if you would take them completely out of the movie, how much better would it be? Fucking A, dude.
Sorry, not sorry.
Ruth tries to convince Rachel and crew that the mountain is harmless still, just as the walls are torn down by this flood of lava that I was talking about. And she watches as her house is literally burned to the ground in front of her. The poor dear. But hey, at least they all got out. On to a boat into Mirror Lake. What could sound worse? Mirror Lake.
Mirror Lake.
These are where all those dead fish that you were talking about earlier pop up.
Oh, yeah.
Literally. They burned alive and are now on top of the water because the water has turned into acid.
That's nuts.
Which is now eating the boat.
I knew it right away. Like, you're like, I'm a fucking grandma. No.
Yeah, like something has to happen that is, and someone has to go. You know that no one is going, not everybody is going to survive. And grandma's the one that gets it.
Grandma got all bing bong on us.
Yeah, bing bong.
She let Joy go up by herself.
Yeah, there's this really gorgeous aerial shot, though, of the boat going through the water before the propeller falls off. And the water parts as it breaks through the ash, and there's like this red hue, and there's this electricity in the air from the pyroclastic clouds. It's really, really fucking eerie and really, really beautiful, and I love it so much. So yeah, the propeller is eaten by the acid, and the water is eating the boat, and we're only feet away from the dock, and then Grandma jumps in the water to wade them to shore. And while it might save the family, it does not save her.
Yeah, she's like getting severe burns all over her legs as she's like pushing the boat off the water and onto land.
It's horrific.
Yeah, she sacrificed herself for these kids.
Yeah.
If she would have just came down the mountain, she would have been perfectly okay.
And it's really frightening as they run off the dock, because they make it to the dock because of Grandma. The dock crumbles behind them, and then the boat sinks because it's like been being eaten by the acid water. And so it just confirms that they are trapped. They're like trapped in every shape of the word on this villainous fucking mountain. It's terrible. Like the grandma stuff is sad.
Yeah, really.
Like we've all had grandmas, like maybe you hated them, but I loved mine.
No, that's, it just, it happens. Some people do, some people don't. Families are just, families.
Yeah. She dies.
She dies.
Shortly after this.
She be dying.
Yeah, she's old. Her legs are toast. She just can't make it. It's a moving,
she sacrificed
effective
herself.
scene. Yeah, she did. I think that this is one of the parts where the dialogue is very good.
What?
Between Grandma and Rachel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the little boy, dude, Jeremy Foley, the actor who plays Graham, he can cry. He's a really good crier. Grandma, please. Grandma. So the next day, we get the National Guard. Our volcano blows its peak again. We get more gas, more pume, and now a magnificent slide is beginning.
Yeah.
Now, again, I've seen the documentaries of the St. Helens stuff, and dude, this looks so similar.
Yeah, they call those lahars.
Really?
Lahar.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like that.
Lahars.
How fucking cool.
AKA landslide.
The way the dam destructs.
Yeah. Well, this is it because this big old lahar. It collapses a dam, right? Like this big old landslide collapses the
fucking
dam,
bonkers.
and then sends the water onto the town.
Oh, it's so crazy.
This big old,
But it's one of my favorite parts of the
natural
movie.
disasters.
It's just water going over a hill. But it's so much more than that. I also think that the bridge scene would be more effective if I didn't hate Paul so much.
Yeah.
Like I would, it could have been any other character and I might have felt something, but I was just like, yo, take him.
But I don't know. There's like something about that last look that he gives that's just like, fuck.
It's
like,
the scream.
It just humanizes the poor bastard, and you're like, that son of a bitch didn't deserve to die like that. You're like, Paul.
No, I think it was the scream.
Yeah. The scream, of course, that's just a last look that you don't want engraved in you forever. Like that's something that you would close your eyes and it's the first thing you probably see at going to sleep is like, fuck, like I cannot get that look out of my mind.
Yeah.
My mind, I cannot.
And you might not know what we're talking about because I didn't describe it, but as the one-liner crew are trying to go over the bridge, the landslide is taking it out. Most of them get over, but Paul's in a van and he does not get over and he ends up getting wiped away on the bridge. Yeah. and he's killed.
It's one of those moments that if he would have just got out the van maybe and just ran and jumped over the bridge, he probably would have made it. But he was so stupid with his decisions. Like, he just had the most dumb decisions. Like, Paul, get it together. The fucking volcano's going to explode. Get everybody out of here. Get in the van. Get off the van. Jump off the fucking bridge, and you'll survive.
Honestly, like, it's because of Paul and the one-liner crew that this movie is not a perfect score for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So elsewhere, Harry and Rachel and the kids
my gosh. I thought you were going to say Harry and the Wandos. I was like, that sounds like a band.
Oh, that's what we should call them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Harry and the Wandos have found a truck. And
now the way that sounds when you say it. Harry and the Wandos.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to go on tour, girl.
Shit. Elsewhere, Harry and the Wandos have found a truck and have stupidly decided to drive over what appears to be hardened but still burning lava. And it quickly destroys the tires.
Unbelievable. No, absolutely not.
But it doesn't destroy the tires fast enough.
Not fast enough. I don't think so. Because tires are already as hot as they can be as they're, rolling around the road. So this would absolutely pop them right away.
I mean, these tires last way too long.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a Pierce Brosnan movie.
Yeah.
So it's forgivable. And, the truck does catch on fire.
Yeah.
And they're stuck. This is one of like the 10 times that they're stuck. They do get out and they end up saving the dog because I don't know if I mentioned it, but Ruffy does disappear for a while.
It's a Pierce Brosnan movie. Like, it makes it better. And I'm like, if it was Tom Cruise, he'd probably have an armored truck that literally can fight this volcano.
If it was a Tom Cruise movie, it would fly.
Yeah.
Like, the fucking car would be flying.
The Rock would be the volcano.
Yeah. Tom Cruise would be the volcano. Yeah.
Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
Katie Holmes.
No. Oh, no.
Name them all.
The Gift. I love how the lava's such a fucking demon, though. And it's like after them in every corner. And I love that we saved the dog.
Pinche perro cabrón.
So here's something that I thought was very thought-provoking. She mentions how it took 8 years to get Dante's Peak up and running. And now it's gone. That is horror. What's left of this town, that is horror. Their house, completely gone. Real life natural disaster, that's horror. Harry behind the wheel of a car is also what I would like to call horror.
Absolutely. The writing in this movie
horror
is horror. Absolutely. Yes.
So Harry stops in at the motel where the One-Liners Club had stayed, where Elf was left behind, that little machine thingy that they had detached from spider legs. Yeah. And he snags it just before the volcano gives us one last big burst.
They're caring about the wrong fucking things. Like,
no, we need that.
Okay.
We do need that.
Okay.
And this is why. Because they needed to send a signal later. And I don't think he knows that yet.
I see what you mean.
But we need that for later.
I see what you mean. Yeah, I see why you mean it. But I'm just like, okay, yeah, go ahead. You're right.
Yeah. So the volcano gives one big burst, like one big last burst. And this is the one that we've been waiting for. It's fucking massive. And I wouldn't be surprised if this was actual footage from like a real volcano. I feel like it looks so goddamn good. And to see this tiny car just hammering the gas to get away, the buildings are exploding and they're like coming at you at the screen. Like, it's fucking mortifying.
Yeah, really.
Like, and you have Pierce going, "Don't look back, kids, don't look back." And you hear how scared Pierce Brosnan is. Like, and you hear him go, "Oh, sweet Jesus." I pointed that out last night. And he goes, "Oh, sweet Jesus." Like,
"Oh, sweet Jesus."
It's scary. Like, I think it's scary.
No, a man panicking is fucking horrifying.
I think it's spooky. Harry crashes the truck into the old abandoned mine, where they're seemingly safe for the time being. And then he, like, gives them this promise for what's to come, which, like, makes it sound like he's going to stick around. He's going to take them deep sea fishing, and life is going to be cute once they get out of this. Yeah. And that's when he goes back for Elf, subsequently getting trapped in the truck when another earthquake strikes, and then snaps his elbow and it like gets stuck in his truck, and all these rocks barricade him inside, and he's stuck in there for almost 2 days.
That's like the craziest thing ever.
And the Wandos are stuck on one side, practicing for their upcoming band show, and Harry is stuck in his truck. And it's the most horrifying concept. Just like
No.
just not knowing like what's happening.
Like being trapped like that is like, no, fuck that. Like having to you already went through all that volcano shit and now you're just trapped.
It's so scary. And there's this shot where there is like destruction and aftermath, and you just get like these like fade in and fade outs of like what this volcano has done. And this is also where, after a few minutes of just heavy breathing and trying to like figure out what the fuck to do, Harry has finally switched on Elf. Like he's gotten Elf to work, because that's what he did. He had to go back to the truck to get Elf. And, you know, like, did I say that they crashed into the mine? I did, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And now they just have to wait. And I'm going to tell you guys that this was a little bit excruciating, especially if you have any sort of claustrophobia.
Yeah.
Like, it's not easy to watch stuff like this. Something registered this last time watching this that has never registered before, and that was that they were down there for, what did they say? I don't know,
48
a day or
hours.
two?
Yeah, a day or two.
Like, these guys are fucking idiots.
And they only like realize this because Paul walked in. No, not Paul. One of the geologists walks into the room and sees the little beacon flashing, and they're like, "How long has this been flashing for?" And this dumb Java guy, the coffee kid, is like, "For I don't know, 2 days."
They're fucking idiots, dude.
And they're like, "This beacon is literally telling us that Harry's alive, that he's been down there like the entire time."
And then they have to go like tear apart the mine and
Like-
then like dig for them, and that probably takes like another fucking day, dude.
Did you not know the job that you were doing? Like that beacon means something. Like why not pay attention to the beacon? It's what you're out here for. And the one thing that you were meant to pay attention to, you totally ignored for 2 days. Get
Unbelievable.
out of here.
Unbelievable. So it's basically the entire plot of Twisters for a whole movie, but we only got it like in 1 second, so it's forgivable.
Replaced with rocks.
Ultimately, Harry and the Wandos are saved and reunited, and it's actually a really beautiful ending. And I love that he's a family man now, and he wants to really take them on this fishing trip. And I love the look on Rachel's face, and I love the last shot of the movie.
She forced him.
She forced a bourbon down his throat.
She forced the bourbon down his throat.
You're going to take these kids.
Yeah, they're your kids.
We're going deep sea fishing.
Honestly.
And that's Dante's Peak. That's our horror adjacent natural disaster flick for you. Our first of maybe many. We'll see.
Our summer, what is it? Summer.
Our bad weather.
What do they call those?
Bad weather summer.
No, those big movies that are big hits for summer.
Blockbuster.
Like Blockbuster. Yeah, this
There
is our summer blockbuster.
Yeah, I guess it would be. Although it wasn't a blockbuster and it didn't come out during the summer.
Can you stop? Can you just let me have it? Like, just let it be our summer blockbuster.
It is our summer blockbuster.
I'm bringing this one back to theaters and pushing Twisters out.
Well, that was my next question for you. This or Twister?
Are you fucking kidding me? This one for sure.
Really?
Absolute. Oh, wait. No, Twisters, always.
Twisters?
Twister, always.
Okay, Twister. I would go with this one.
Get out of town.
I'm
That's
Team
not even
Dante's
true.
Peak.
You don't even know that's
I'm
true.
Team Dante's
Nope.
Peak. What would you give it on your Gory Gaydar?
I think a 3.5.
Okay.
You know,
Okay. I would give it a 4.
you're like, no.
I
There's
would.
something else that you're not telling
I
me.
would give it a 5, but the one-liner crew is my only qualm with it. Honestly,
No,
otherwise,
like
I'm
it's
gonna
the,
pull
the
you.
writing. Like I just couldn't handle like
That's what
their
I mean.
actual lines, and the one-liner crew was like,
Yeah, that's what I mean. The one-liner crew is what did it, and that's where most of the writing went awry for me. And also, like some of the cringy dialogue, obviously between Rachel and Harry, but everything else it's just like a visual effects show. Like it's just like watching volcanoes erupt. And if you were like, I was like a weather nerd as like a little boy, so I feel like it was just like watching the tornado scene in Wizard of Oz over and over.
It was it's a good movie because if you think about the idea of what can we do with a volcano movie, it's a fucking volcano. What can actually happen? Like volcanoes, like primarily they're more known to where they're like they explode and then they create this gorgeous island. So how scary can a volcano be? Like what can you actually make out of a volcano movie? But I feel like these people got all the perfect ingredients and created the most iconic volcano movie that can ever exist. Like you can't actually top this. And if you did now, it would be Twisters all over again. Like just CGI shit that will not, don't make it happen. Like just leave this movie alone, if anything, because I think in all honesty, if I don't like it because of certain things, I do like it because of the way it was made and the specific way it was made to just be a volcano movie, period. And this is actually used in a lot of like schools now, learning about volcanoes. These are the movies that they play in science classes.
As they should.
Yeah.
This is very educational, I think.
This is the actual movie that they play in a lot of science classes. So tons of kids watch this. This is, you're going to learn about this movie. You're going to grow pretty smart about making this movie because it's more of a science. It teaches you more than an actual just watching for entertainment.
I just want to watch it for entertainment.
I want to watch it like on an airplane or like somewhere where I can actually be cozy.
I want to watch a volcano erupt from an airplane. No, that sounds like a nightmare. That?
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm screaming. I feel like I've been speaking funny this entire episode, so I'm really interested to hear this back. You can follow us on social media at The Gory Gaze on everything. That includes Twitter, X, Threads, Instagram, YouTube. Splits, spread eagles, backflips, flip-flops, one right after the other. And you can email us at thegorygaze@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Patreon. We would love that. We are going to be dropping another episode here very soon, but you are more than welcome to go check out our audio commentary on everyone's favorite Halloween classic, Hocus Pocus, in the meantime. Don't forget to leave us some feedback or reviews on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We would love that. Yeah, guys, we'll be back next week with what, Alex?
What are we doing? Joyride.
Joyride.
I've been talking about the girl.
I know. That was also going to be one of our first reviews.
Guys, should we go to Legoland?
We're going to go to Legoland. All right, guys, we'll see you next week. Stay gory.
Stay gory, stay gay, guys.
Bye.
Bye.